be me. 26, fresh out of a sociology program that basically rewired my brain to see patriarchy hiding behind every latte. Honestly, it started way before college. My mum raised me and Ryan mostly on her own after Dad left when we were teenagers, and I grew up watching her grind through double shifts while still getting blamed for everything that went wrong. She used to say things like, "Don't ever depend on a man for anything," and I guess that stuck. Then high school hit. All the usual stuff. Guys rating girls in group chats, teachers brushing it off, friends crying in bathrooms. I decided early on I wasn't going to be one of the naive ones. By the time I got to college, every class, every video, every post just confirmed what I already believed, that the world runs on double standards and male excuses. And honestly, it felt good to have a framework for it. Like finally, everything made sense. So yeah. 26, degree in sociology, feminist by survival, and maybe a little too sure that I'm right about everything. It was supposed to be a calm Sunday dinner. Mom made lasagna, candles flickering, the usual, let's act like we like each other for an hour. But Ryan was already scrolling through his phone when I sat down, smirking at something on Twitter. He shows me a meme, a girl texting, if he wanted to, he would, and the guy replying, "I did, you ignored me for 3 weeks." He says, "That's your entire gender in one screenshot." I roll my eyes. Typical. A man mocking women for having standards. He laughs. Standards? More like experiments. Half of you treat dating like a science fair project. That was it. You think it's funny, but women have to test men, I tell him. Otherwise they pretend to be nice until they get bored or push boundaries. He sets his fork down. So you're saying all men are faking it? Yes. Even Dad, he asks. I hate when he does that. Drags family into it, like a debate trick. Dad's different. What about me? Especially you. I shoot back before I can stop myself. Mum looks up like she's about to intervene, but decides against it. She's tired of this topic. Ryan leans back, crossing his arms. You honestly think every guy's a hidden predator? I shrug. Maybe not all at once, but the potential's always there. You've just never had to worry about it. He smirks. Or maybe you've been hanging around too many people who need to see monsters everywhere so their TikTok rants get views. I can feel my pulse in my ears. You wouldn't last 5 minutes being a woman in this world. Maybe, he says. But you wouldn't last 5 minutes assuming everyone's out to hurt you. You'd be miserable. That's when I blurt it out. Fine. I'll prove it. I'll take the nicest guy I know and show you how fast he slips if you give him a chance. That is literally all men. Give them an inch and they'll take a mile. Ryan's eyebrows go up. You're serious? Completely. You pick a guy, any guy, and I'll prove he's no different. He chuckles. You're going to bait someone into failing your purity test. It's not baiting. It's exposing right, he says, dry. Just don't ruin some dude's life to win an argument. The rest of dinner is silence. Forks scraping plates. Mom changes the topic to taxes. That night, my apartment felt too quiet. I made tea, but it went cold while I scrolled through messages. My group chat was popping. Everyone venting about ghosting, weaponized incompetence, screenshots of bad Tinder bios. I dropped a voice note. My brother said, "Not all men are creeps." I'm about to prove him wrong. Instant replies. Expose them. Record everything. Pick a quiet one. The nice guy act is the scariest kind. Their energy hyped me. It wasn't just personal anymore. It was almost academic. Like I was doing field research. That's when I thought of Josh. Josh, 29, accountant, volunteers at the same food bank twice a month. Always early, always polite. Doesn't flirt, doesn't even linger when we talk. Drives one of those practical cars, silver Civic, clean, no ego. I used to think he was painfully bland, the kind of man you forget mid-conversation because nothing about him sticks, which made him perfect. He was the kind of guy everyone liked but nobody noticed. Harmless, predictable. The sort of nice guy women trust automatically, until they shouldn't. Still, I hesitated. Sitting there with my laptop open, I thought, wait, am I picking the right guy for this? What if he's too boring to take the bait? What if he just never gives me a chance to prove my point? But then I caught myself smirking. Number. They always do. It's just a matter of timing and opportunity. Give any man the right mix of friendliness and perceived safety, and he'll show what's underneath. The mask always slips eventually. Maybe not at first, but it does. So yeah, Josh would do fine. If he really was the good one, I'd admit it. Though honestly, I doubted it. I'd seen too many stories, heard too many harmless guys turn out to be creeps behind DMs. I scroll through his Instagram, hiking photos, his golden retriever, pictures from the food drive, one of him handing a box to an elderly lady. No thirst traps, no weird captions, not even a single gym selfie. Suspiciously clean. Like he's hiding something by being too normal. I type out a message. Hey random, but I had an idea for the next food drive event. You free for coffee sometime? I hover before hitting send. Thumb over the button. Part of me worries he'll say no, that I'll lose my test subject before the experiment even starts. But another part of me, the smug, certain part, knows he won't. Men don't say no to attention. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, the screen lights up. Sure sounds exciting. Always happy to chat. Of course he is. I grin at my phone. This is going to be fun. Every nice guy gets excited the second a woman shows interest, no matter how different he pretends to be. They all think they're the exception. He just doesn't know he's about to become my favorite case study yet. Let the test begin. Fast forward to the day we were meeting. The coffee shop was only 15 minutes from my place, but I still started getting ready over an hour early. Not because I was nervous, it wasn't a date or anything, but because I wanted to look normal. Casual, but not careless. Friendly, but not trying too hard. I stood in front of my closet debating if wearing lipstick would send the wrong message, then realized that was the point. The message was the test. If he picked up on signals and reacted in any inappropriate way, even slightly, that was the data I needed. I wore jeans and a cropped cardigan, nothing flashy, just enough to look good without looking like I cared that I looked good. Before I left, I reread our DMs, the emoji he used, the phrasing. Always happy to chat. What does that even mean? Sounds nice, sure. But that smiley face? That's usually where guys start testing waters. I got there first, picked a window table, ordered a matcha, sat where I could watch him walk in. Josh showed up 5 minutes later, right on time. Navy hoodie, dark jeans, clean haircut. Just like I remembered, neat, understated. He smiled when he saw me, waved one hand casually, and slid into the seat across from me. Hey, thanks for the invite, he said. No problem, I smiled. Figured it'd be nice to talk without a stack of food drive boxes between us. We talked. Small stuff at first. He asked how school had gone. I told him about the non-profit internship I just finished. He asked what I was doing next. I gave my usual spiel about taking time to refocus and build impact. He nodded like he actually respected that. I let the conversation flow for about 15 minutes before steering it. Dating sucks lately, I said, just loud enough for him to hear clearly over the background music. He nodded, sipped his drink. Yeah, I gave up on apps a while ago. It's exhausting. No one's real on there, I added. Exactly, he said. It's like job interviews, but for disappointment. I laughed. Not forced. He was genuinely decent at phrasing things. Then I tilted my head and gave him the first soft test. You seem like one of the good ones, though. Honestly, I've never seen you be anything but respectful. He smiled. I just try to treat people how I'd want to be treated. Then he changed the subject, asked if I'd heard they were expanding the volunteer center. That's when I noticed it. The slight deflection. He didn't deny being one of the good ones. He didn't engage either. Just shifted. Classic tactic. I leaned back, testing again. You're so disciplined, I said. Like you never get rattled. He chuckled. That's the accountant in me. Order, numbers, structure, no follow-up, no, you're not so bad yourself. Nothing. He glanced at his watch. I should head out soon. Got a client meeting. I blinked. Already? He stood, pulled out his wallet, and paid for both drinks before I could say anything. I got it, he said. Thanks again for the chat. Let's catch up again at the center. And just like that, he left. No flirt, no probing, no lingering glances. I sat there for a few minutes after, pretending to scroll. I wasn't upset, not really, but I felt off. It wasn't how it was supposed to go. Guys usually try to extend the moment, buy time, drop hints, play the long game, but Josh just left. Like it was nothing. I kept thinking, maybe I was too subtle. Maybe he's the type who waits for clearer signals. Or maybe, and this hit harder than I expected, maybe he just wasn't interested. That night, I laid in bed with the lights off, scrolling mindlessly until the group chat pinged. Amber. Well? Spill. What happened with accountant Jesus? Tiff. Ugh, I forgot you were meeting him today. Did he do anything weird? They were already waiting. Everyone in the chat knew what I was doing. I hadn't told them exactly why, but they knew the gist. I was seeing if the nice guy could keep it together when he thought someone liked him. I typed back, first test done. He passed too easily, Nina responded with the eyeball emoji. Then, passed how? Like, boring passed, or too perfect it's sus passed? Too perfect, I replied. No flirting. No boundary testing. He just talked, paid, left. Like it was a dentist appointment. Tiff? Oh God. That's worse. Means he's practiced Amber. Textbook soft manipulator. Probably learned that from watching Jordan Peterson clips Nina dropped a TikTok. Some girl pacing in her apartment, ranting about how quiet men weaponize comfort to lower your guard. I just stared at it. It was exactly what I needed to see. Amber again. You need to raise the stakes. Do what they do to us. Let him think you're into him. That's when they drop the act. Tiff. Get him out of the volunteer bubble. That's his home turf. He feels safe there, Nina. Invite him out. Something casual. Make it seem spontaneous. Pretend like you're just comfortable with him now. I could feel my wheels turning as I read their messages. They were right. That first coffee meetup, that was just surface level, too neutral. He probably didn't even register it as a situation where the mask had to come off. If I wanted real behavior, I needed real conditions. Comfort, privacy, somewhere where there were no public eyes, no clipboard roles to hide behind. Something just chill enough to lower defenses, but personal enough to let him think there's maybe something more. I typed back, what if I invite him out for drinks after the next shift? Just me and him? Tiff. Yes. Casual plus alcohol equals the truth always leaks out. Amber. And wear something different. Not flirty, but not full work mode either. Soft Nina. This is the move. You're building comfort. Now you just have to let him think he's the one leading it. I locked my phone and stared at the ceiling. It didn't feel manipulative. Not really. If he had nothing to hide, then there'd be nothing to see. But if he was like the rest, if the calm, clean-cut act was just a cover, I'd be the first one to catch it. Let's see how long he stays safe when the setting changes. It had been about a week and a half since the coffee meetup. We'd both done another volunteer shift together during that time. When we wrapped up another long Saturday at the center, stacking boxes and wiping down tables, I figured it was the perfect moment to raise the stakes. I texted Josh right after our shift ended. We crushed it today. Drinks to celebrate? He replied within minutes. Ha ha, sure. Sounds chill. Same place? Easy. Too easy. He didn't even ask who else was coming. Just agreed, like it was nothing. I told myself that was a good sign. He was comfortable, probably already letting his guard down. We finished packing up supply boxes, and I stepped outside to grab an energy bar from my bag when I heard someone behind me. Since when do you grab drinks with dudes? I turned and saw Eli, old college classmate, helped with the food drive once in a while. Smart-ass type, always had opinions. What? I asked. He raised an eyebrow. Didn't you used to say guys were all manipulative creeps? Still do, I said. This one's just part of a test. He made a face. A test? Yeah. Seeing if Mr. Nice Guy cracks when things feel more casual. Eli stared at me for a second, like he couldn't decide whether to laugh or be annoyed. You're not testing him. You're baiting him. I crossed my arms. It's the same thing. It's really not, he said. Testing is about finding truth. Baiting is about setting someone up to fail. I rolled my eyes. Okay, philosopher. He didn't react, just said, if you think all guys are trash, you'll eventually treat every good one like a liar until they walk. And when they walk, you'll call it proof. It bothered me how calm he said it, like he wasn't trying to win, just stating fact. Thanks for the unsolicited wisdom, I muttered. He shrugged. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. Then walked off. I stood there longer than I should have, phone still in my hand. That night, I didn't hold back. I wore a black knit skirt, soft, clingy fabric, just above mid-thigh. Paired it with a loose off-shoulder top and a cropped jacket. Not overly revealing, just enough to make it clear this wasn't some casual errand. Legs shaved, light contour, lip gloss, not lipstick. The group chat was on fire before I even left. This is it. He's either gonna slip or admit he's a priest. Private setting equals no script. Real version shows up. Josh was already at the bar when I arrived. Corner booth, back against the wall, sipping a ginger ale like always. Hey, he said, smiling as I walked up. You clean up well? He looked me up and down, quick glance, not lingering. Thanks, I said, letting the jacket slip off my shoulder a little more than it needed to. So do you. He was in a fitted dark button-up and jeans. Simple, clean. Confident but quiet. The server came. I ordered a glass of wine. He stuck with soda again. We talked. Volunteering, a mutual co-worker who was always late, his dog, music from high school. I let him talk, laughed a little louder than I normally would, brushed something imaginary off his sleeve. He thanked me like it was nothing. Then I shifted in the booth, crossing my legs slowly. Sorry, I said, smiling. Skirt's a little shorter than I realized. He nodded. You're fine. Not even a second glance. I leaned forward slightly, arms on the table, letting the neckline drop a bit. You're seriously one of the calmest people I've ever met. He smiled. Too much drama in the world already. I try not to add to it. You're hard to read, I said, drawing a slow circle on my wine glass with my fingertip. Not really, he replied. I just don't push where I'm not invited. I took that as a cue, slid a little closer, our knees almost brushing. So what if someone was inviting you? I said quietly. He looked at me, not shocked, just still. Depends who, he said. And why? I let my fingers rest gently on his wrist. He didn't flinch, but he didn't lean into it either. Then I pushed further, let my hand slide up his forearm, just enough to signal this wasn't friendly. That's when he pulled back. Not fast, not dramatic, just firm. He sat back, one arm over the booth edge, tone steady. "Hey," he said, "what are you doing?" My throat tightened for a second. I started trying to laugh it off. "I thought we were just talking, relaxing." "We are," he said, "and I appreciate the invite, but I don't want to give you the wrong idea." Wrong idea, like I misunderstood, like I was reaching. I tried to play it cool, but my face was already hot. 10 minutes later, he finished his drink, paid the tab, and stood up. "You good to get home?" he asked. "Yeah," I muttered. "I'll walk you out." Outside, he stood with his hands in his pockets while my Uber pulled up. "Tonight was nice," he said. "See you around." Then he waved. No hug, no lean in. Just turned and walked off. At home, I threw my shoes off and sat on the couch in silence. I unlocked my phone, typed. "You really think you're better than everyone, don't you?" Paused. Sent it. A few minutes later. "What do you mean?" I stared at it, fingers hovering, then went off. "I know your type. The fake nice guy, polite until someone wants real connection, then suddenly you're above it. You were probably just laughing at me the whole night." His reply came 5 minutes later. "If being decent feels fake to you, that says more about your expectations than my intentions." I threw my phone across the couch. The next morning, I woke up with that same dull ache in my chest. Part anger, part embarrassment. My phone was face down on the floor. No new messages. I didn't go to the volunteer center that week. Didn't open the group chat either. I didn't want the questions. By Wednesday, I'd had enough sitting alone. I grabbed my keys and drove to Ryan's place without warning him. He was in the garage, fixing something under the hood of his car, sleeves rolled up, music low. He looked up when he saw me. "Well, if it isn't the scientist." "How'd your experiment go?" I crossed my arms. "You'd love this. Turns out your precious men aren't saints either." He laughed softly. "Did he hit on you?" "No." "Lie to you?" "No." "Touch you when you didn't want him to?" "No." He leaned against the car door, wiping his hands with the rag. "Then what exactly did he do wrong?" "He acted like I was—" "Nothing," I snapped. "Like I didn't even matter." "Who does that?" Ryan raised an eyebrow. "A guy who respects boundaries, maybe." I glared. "You don't get it." "I think I do," he said calmly. "You wanted him to fail so bad you wouldn't accept him passing. You called it a test, but it was just a setup." I opened my mouth to fire back, but couldn't. He kept going. "You say all men are predators, then go out of your way to corner one and call it proof. What were you hoping he'd do? Fail just enough to make you feel right?" The words landed like a punch. I hated that he sounded like Josh, calm, steady, impossible to argue with. I looked away. "You're twisting it." "Am I?" he said. "Maybe the only thing you proved is that not everyone fits the story you built in your head." For a moment, the only sound was the soft hum of the engine. I picked up my bag and turned toward the door. "You think you're so clever," I muttered. Ryan just shook his head. "No. I just think you picked the wrong villain I didn't answer. I just got in my car and drove home gripping the wheel too tight. When I parked, I sat there for a long time, staring at my reflection in the black screen of my phone. No notifications, no messages, just quiet. And for the first time, I couldn't tell if I was angry at him or at myself.